Bill.
How you doing?
Tim VanHine.
Good to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. We spoke on the phone briefly.
Yes.
Now, I guess to start off, you we didn't talk for too long, too extensively on the phone, but
Right.
When's the last time that you spoke to someone from my company, from Prudential?
I think the day that we had the policy delivered.
They had the policy
yeah,
delivered?
so 9 years ago.
9 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, we get that a lot, actually. A lot of our clients are, not taken care of, so to speak. They don't
Okay.
have an advisor.
Sure.
That's working with them currently.
Okay.
So, my reason for calling you, setting up this policy review is kind of talk to you about, essentially getting back in front of you and getting someone to discuss this business with you. Like you
Okay.
said, it's been 9 years. These are
Sure.
the kind of things that, we like to check up on them at least annually. So it's something that we can kind of talk about.
Okay.
Now, I know I kind of alluded to this over the phone. What I do, my job, I'm a financial planner or a financial advisor.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is that I like to say, to all my clients, my job is to make sure that your financial security is set. That means no mistakes, none. Okay. Some people still don't understand what that means. So I try to explain it using that. That's the best way that I
Sure.
can kind of give it to you.
Okay.
So have you ever worked with a financial advisor or anybody? I know you said 9 years ago you spoke to somebody from Prudential.
No, nobody since then.
Nobody since then. Okay. Yeah. So I guess that's why I'm here. So in order to do my job, what I like to take my clients through is my process, and
Okay.
what that means is kind of just to peer inside of your financial window. Okay. Try to get to know your situation. Ask you a few questions, some big, bad, tough questions.
Sure.
I don't know if you have any problems with that, but in order to do my job, that's what I do. Ask my clients to kind of meet me halfway.
Okay.
So I will ask you some questions just to kind of get your situation,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of go from there, I guess.
Okay.
So it's like I kind of explain it to people. If I was a doctor and say you're my patient, you come in and you say, Tim, I got some chest pain. I'm coughing a bit, and I say, okay, Bill, you need some Lipitor. Take
Sure.
some Lipitor, and you kind of look at me. How do you know?
Right.
That's kind of like my job right now. If I don't peer into that financial window, I can't really help you out too much.
Understood.
Right?
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay. So, right now, so we said we'd review your Prudential policy.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you have a 10-year term policy
Right.
with Prudential
Yeah.
on your 9th year of
Yep.
that 10 year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you said it was $100,000. We have that on paper here. Now, when you originally took out a term policy, do you remember the purpose or your objective for why you took that out?
Yeah, my wife and I just bought our first house.
Mhm.
So really it was just, kind of that, God forbid if something happens, cover the mortgage, that kind of
Cover the mortgage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else behind it? Just the mortgage?
Yeah, pretty much. That
Really
was
just cover
the
that?
big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, big common thing. Usually, big liability like that, you want to cover yourself, so it's a
Exactly.
smart move.
Right.
Now, it is, on its 9th year out of 10. We kind of discussed that over the phone a bit. So have you thought about anything moving forward? Anything, to continue protecting yourself at all?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I agreed
Yeah.
in the meeting is,
Mhm.
I know that this thing runs out. Mortgage isn't gone,
Yeah.
so as a matter of fact, it's a new mortgage.
Mhm.
So we've got to, got to take a look at this and see what we can do to maybe extend it or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, good. I tell my clients sometimes when you have a term policy like this, it's not exactly what I call an asset that's
Sure.
in your hands. It's kind of, it's like you went down to Rent-A-Center, the Super Bowl's coming up. It's like you went down to Rent-A-Center and you're throwing a big party, let's
Mhm.
say, all right? And you said, friends and family, I got a 50-inch downstairs, but I want a 75-inch.
Right.
I want everybody to see the game, right?
Yeah.
So, go to Rent-A-Center, you say, all right, I want the biggest 75-inch TV, and let's say you take that TV out for 9 years, all right? Rent-A-Center gives it to
Yeah.
you for 9 years. You love the TV, you start loving it after the party, you're like, I could use this for like a 10th year party.
Mhm.
With your business here, it's going to expire, so you don't have that asset. It's just like you borrowed it, but you're paying on it at the same
Sure.
time. Okay, so that's kind of what you got. It's pretty simple, pretty cut and dry. It seems like you understand it. You were
Yeah.
walking through it 9 years ago.
Right.
So moving forward, I just want to, like I said, I want to get into that financial window and just kind of get to know your situation before I can even offer my hand or my assistance. Get back to that main goal of helping your financial security.
Okay.
Make sense?
Fair.
Okay. So to just want to get to know you and your situation. So you're Bill.
Yep.
Bill Yard. How old are you, Bill?
36.
36. All right. I like to keep everything on paper.
Sure.
So I can remember. Because I don't have the best memory. So I want to remember and get it all down. All right. Bill Yard, 36. Lucky wife.
Yes, she is.
What's her name?
Sarah, with an H.
Sarah.
And she's 34.
Same last name?
Yep.
All right. Have to ask. No hyphens or anything.
That's right.
Sorry, what was her age?
34.
34. All right. You have any kids?
Three.
Three
girls.
kids. 3 girls. All girls?
All girls.
You want any boys?
Oh,
Anything in the
tried
future?
it a couple
You tried
times.
it.
It didn't work. So we're good.
No magic
We're
touch.
good. Yeah, no magic
Sticking
touch.
with 3?
Sticking with 3.
Sticking with 3. What are their names?
Molly is my oldest.
Molly?
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 13.
13.
Avery is my middle. She will be 11 in a couple of weeks.
11.
And Quinn is our newest addition. She's 1.
Quinn, how do you spell that? Quinn?
Yep, 2 N's.
2 N's. All right. And what was that?
She's 1.
She's 1.
Yep.
Wow.
That was on purpose.
Yeah?
Yep. Trying for that boy.
Yeah,
Did
trying
not
for the
work.
boy. Third time's the charm.
Yeah,
Nope.
not so much.
Nope. Where do you work, Bill?
I work for First Niagara.
First Niagara.
Yeah, soon to be Key Bank.
Soon to be Key Bank.
Yeah.
What do you do there?
Branch manager.
Branch manager. How long you been the manager?
5 years.
5 years?
Yep.
How do you like it there?
It's okay. A little bit nervous about this merger. Should be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen the stock prices bounce around a little bit. From
Yeah,
that,
it's been a little crazy.
bit hectic.
Yeah.
You see yourself sticking there after?
Hope so.
After yeah.
That's kind of
That's the worry.
that's the thing, is that we're not sure who's staying, who's going.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at a First Niagara, typically there's a Key Bank right next door.
Mhm.
You know, so I don't think that I think there's going to be a lot of people out of work, unfortunately. So
Oh geez.
that'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out.
Well, I wish you luck for that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. What about the wife? She work?
Yeah, she works for a company called M&L International.
M&L?
Yeah, and she does international or imports. She does international logistics. You know.
Does she like that?
Good. She kind of fell into it.
Yeah.
Geez, probably 10 years ago, and she enjoys it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I've never met anybody that does international imports. So interesting work
Yeah,
with that.
same.
Does she speak another language with that, or does she got
No.
No.
You know what? It's funny. Most other countries come to us.
Oh, yeah.
Even she works with a lot of people in China,
Mhm.
Vietnam, and India. Their English is actually really, really very good.
Lucky for us, we don't have to know anything but English most of the time.
Her learning Cantonese or something like that is that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
So no other languages.
Good. Now, how much do you guys each make at your positions?
I make 75.
Mhm.
She makes, with bonus, around 90.
Making more than you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that one?
I'm good with it.
I know some guys that
keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Stay-at-home dad.
Yeah. Hey, if this doesn't work out with that, with
That's right. That's right.
go home for the kids.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, so that's just the basics I like to ask you about.
Mhm.
Just kind of get your picture of your family,
Yeah.
where you're at, essentially. And now I want to get your priorities down. Okay, so moving forward, you're 36 right now. Okay, so you have some years until retirement. I don't know if you've thought about retirement or if you have that kind of magic number in your head at all. I've talked to a lot of my clients that say how they want to retire early, but they have no idea how to get there.
Yeah.
That's some of the stuff that we do specialize in. So I work with a lot of people on that front. But do you have that, in your head, if you had that magic number, have you ever thought about that when you want to, quit working?
I mean, I'd like to retire tomorrow, but
Yeah.
realistically, it's probably 65.
65?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, have you thought about your top priorities moving into retirement? Anything that you want to take care of? Anything that you definitely need during retirement? Any before retirement? Anything as far as that goes?
I think the big thing is making sure that we don't have any debt.
Mhm.
Just want to keep the nut as small as possible.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing, and I would say anything else is just be comfortable, just be flexible and do what you
Mhm.
want to do, not
Yeah.
have to worry about it.
Not worry. So debt free.
Yep.
very important. My parents are nearing retirement, and they're working on that right now. With you thought about for the kids at all? The 3 kids. Have you thought about their student loans or anything like that? Are they on their own? Are you helping them out through that?
It's a tough question. I don't know. So if we think about this, Molly graduates college, I'll be like 45. So it's still like 20 years away from retirement. I'd like to think that 20 years into her working years, she's got her shit together. And she's kind of taking care of herself. Quinn, on the opposite end of the spectrum, will be 8 years out of college. Is that right? I don't even know. What's the math on that? 21, 35. So I'll be like 55, so I'll be 10 years away from retirement. Same thing. I mean, if I retire, and Quinn's out of school for 10 years, I would hope that they've got their finances in order to the point where they're able to at least take care of their own student loans. So I would not want to plan that as part of my quote unquote obligations and retirement.
Yeah, they're on their own. They're not. You don't want them back in the basement.
30? No, absolutely not. If I'm a 45-year-old living in my basement, something's going on.
Good. That's one thing my parents always say. You're not coming back. No way you're going back in the basement. So they want to be out as soon as possible. Yeah. So I'm writing that as a priority. No basement.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So debt free. So nothing else. That's your main concern.
Yeah.
Moving into
like
retirement
I said, just
at 65.
We don't want to have to think about it.
Don't want to think about it.
If we want to take a vacation, we can just go. If we want to go out to dinner, we can go, and not have to think about can we afford this. So I don't want to have such a tight budget where we've got to count our pennies.
Yeah.
But at the same point, don't want to go bananas every day in retirement either. So just be comfortable.
Middle of the road, comfortable.
You got it.
You're not living in the Hamptons, but
correct. Right, but also not on food stamps and the other end of the spectrum.
Yep.
I don't want to have to work.
Yes.
I'll tell you that.
Yes. So 75 to 90,000 a year. You and your wife. Do you have any other assets right now? Any retirement accounts? Any non-qualified retirement or regular checking savings? Anything like that?
All that stuff. So we've got checking savings both with First Niagara, 401k. She's got a Roth IRA.
No 401k for her? Does she have one?
She has an old one. Her company actually doesn't offer a 401k plan. So when she started there like 5 years ago, we started putting money into the Roth IRA for her.
Where'd she used to work?
Mohawk Global Logistics.
Mohawk.
Yeah, same industry. So she had one there.
She had one there.
Yeah.
Can you ballpark for me what you got in the retirement accounts?
Yeah. So mine, we got about 90,000 in my 401k. She's got 15, 16 grand in her Roth. And that old 401k, maybe 10, 11 grand, somewhere in that neighborhood.
10, 11 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about your checking and savings?
Not a ton. Checking is kind of we month to month. A little bit of a buffer, maybe $500 as a buffer in there. Savings, 3 grand. We typically have around 7. Love to have around 10. Right now it's a little low with.
It's close to the holidays coming up.
Tis the season.
Yep, tis the season. Mine definitely took a little bit of a hit. So I can understand that.
Yeah.
What about debt right now?
Yeah, got the mortgage.
Yep, the
That's
mortgage.
the big one. Car payments. A little bit of student loans left for both of us. Small credit card.
Okay. Can we quantify those? Just get on paper. What about the mortgage?
Payment you're looking for?
Yep.
Like
payment.
$2 grand a month on the payment.
2 grand a month?
Yep.
Okay. And what do you have left on that total? I don't know if you keep
225.
tabs of 22. Okay.
225,000.
When you get the house? I know you said
Like 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay. Been working out all right? Any big problems after you bought it?
No,
I don't know if you built.
Yeah, no, we bought it.
Okay.
Had to put a new roof on. We knew that going into it.
Yeah.
Cost way more than I thought it was going to. Outside
It always
of that,
does.
it's fine.
Good. And car payments?
Yeah.
Monthly?
Yeah, mine's like $425. Hers like $450.
Okay. So let's say 875. And you said a little bit left in the student loans. What do you each have?
combined, we probably have 15,000 worth of loans.
Okay.
Pay only like $225 a month, something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
So that represents your debt. That's the key piece that you want to eliminate moving into retirement.
Yes,
If I'm
absolutely.
correct. Right. Okay. Okay. Now, what I like to talk about now with my clients is, and typically when I walk them through this, I want to understand. I know what you need. You need that debt free. Is there anything that you'd love to have? I know you mentioned traveling and not worrying about anything, but is there anything specific? We'll get these down on paper. Anything that you guys you want to have? You really you can't. You don't need them. Not at all. Do you need to spend money on this? But you envision yourself. Any hobbies, anything that you guys love to do.
I would like to have. Again, it's not a necessity, but it would be nice to have. Something on the water. A camp, second home.
Yeah.
Nothing extravagant, but my wife likes to be on the water. Her parents are boat people. I don't mind fishing, so
yeah.
Something like that would be cool. I think the biggest thing for me really is travel, though. It's something that we really haven't done a lot of to this point. I would like to be able to do it more. There's a lot that I'd like to see. So I think travel is definitely something that I'd like to say it's a necessity. Although
yeah.
I'm pretty negotiable on destination.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything? If you had to pick one place right now, where would you go?
Probably Germany, Austria.
Germany, Austria.
Yeah.
Out of the States.
Out of the States.
Out of the States.
Yeah.
All right.
So into World War II. So that's a pretty good place for that stuff.
Are you a big history buff or just any reason?
I wouldn't say a history buff,
yeah.
but World War II, I definitely, if I had to zero in and say that I'm a buff in any area of history, that would probably be it.
Cool. Yeah, I've never traveled over there, so.
Yeah, I'm
neat.
definitely interested in seeing it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So house on the water. Any spot in your mind? Any place?
Really.
New York or?
Yeah,
in New York.
Yeah, so local. Kind of one of those things where like to be able to drive to it on the weekends. And just kind of hang out and do our thing. Like my in-laws right now, they actually have a 36-foot boat that they actually spend their weekends on the water. They'll just anchor up in a cove, and that's not me. I don't want to do that.
No.
It's too much like camping. So something a little bit more on land.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Again, not a huge necessity if we can do it. Great. If not,
Something that you'd love to have. Good. All right. So close by. So again, retirement in New York State. That's what the plan is, or is it?
Yeah, location of kids is going to have
Yeah.
a lot to do with it too.
Oh yeah.
So it depends on where they are. We kind of like them, so if they end up out of state, preferably somewhere warm, that might alter things. I don't know, but for right now, New York State's okay. I hate the winter because honestly, I haven't put a ton of thought into where we'll ultimately be. So maybe not. But we bought the house that we're in right now, with the intention of staying there for forever. We've got some land, so we may ultimately sell the house and build a smaller house on the property. We'll see.
How many acres you got?
26.
26. You do anything with that? You go hunt?
Yeah.
Big hunter?
I get out. My best friend's a bigger hunter than I am.
Yeah.
He hunts my property every day. So yeah, it's fun though. It's nice to be able to walk out in the backyard and not have to deal with trespassing or state land or any of the nonsense.
Walking out, pop a deer from your backyard.
You got it.
Yep.
You got
Yep.
it.
That's a dream. I'm not a hunter myself, but
That's
I can
fun.
imagine that's nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, like you said, the travel, the debt-free, the house seem to be your biggest, moving into retirement. That's what,
Yeah.
3 key things that, you'd want to have, you'd want to get done. That's good. I mean, at least you have these, I'm sure you haven't thought about these things as much as, and,
I'm
it's
sure
not
I'll
every
think
day.
about it more as I get closer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Still got a long time to go, but it's good to start thinking about these things, get the wheels turning. So when I'm looking at your situation, I like to throw people a hypothetical. Let's say, it's a little bit dark, so bear with me, but
Okay.
let's say, you do drive into work. I don't know if you walk, if you take a
No, I
bike, or
drive, yeah.
okay, it's kind of hard to do that in New York with the
Yeah.
winters. But
Right.
So you drive in, you drive on 690. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
It's hard to avoid it, but so you're driving on 690. You're pulling over, merging on, and let's say a tractor trailer. He didn't get his coffee that morning. He's a little bit sleepy. Barrels into you.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you drive anything bigger than a tractor trailer. I would assume not.
I do not.
Okay. So he's winning that.
Yep.
All right, we can agree with that. He's gonna win that. You're barreling across the road. It's a little bit icy, and next thing you know, you are dead. Billy Yard does not exist anymore. Okay. I don't know if that's a scenario you've thought about before or have it's ever crossed your mind. Hey, if we maybe have some problems if you have.
Right.
But, your ghost is floating around. All right. After you're dead, and you're looking at your situation. Is there anything besides what we've talked about that you want to have taken care of right at that point or before that point?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I want to make sure that my family's in good shape.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just want to make sure they're in good shape, that they don't have to, worry. So, I mean, that was kind of the point of buying the insurance before.
Yeah. So, when you say, you don't want to have to worry or anything, what I assume you're talking about is, replacing your income, right? Because your biggest asset, or anybody's biggest asset, is what they're making right now. Because, their earning potential is that,
Yeah, I guess.
more or less.
I hadn't really thought of it that way,
Yeah.
but in a way, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So, I run through that just because that, like you said, that's why you bought the policy. It gives it puts that picture in your head of what that looks like if that were to happen. Because again, that's worst case scenario. We always say
Sure.
the insurance you win if that happens from the insurance standpoint.
Right.
Right. Prudential's got to pay you, but that's something just to think about, just to keep in the back of your head. And when I talk to people, I think that your biggest, when I look at your house, your 401k, your Roth, all of that stuff, I don't see that as your biggest asset. I see your biggest asset as what you make, what your earning
Sure.
potential.
Yeah, that makes sense.
$75,000.
Mhm.
You're making that for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Sure.
Okay. So, again, you said you purchased the insurance initially to cover something like that or to hedge against that. Now, I don't know if do you have insurance through work right now?
I do,
You
yeah.
do?
I get it like 2 times.
Two times your salary?
Yeah.
Okay. Write that down. Your wife have anything?
Yeah, she actually took out a policy with Mass Mutual.
Okay.
At the same time that I took out the one Prudential. Same exact thing, 100,000.
100K?
9 years ago. Yeah.
Anything through work?
I think she gets 1 time her salary.
One time, so good. So, moving forward, that kind of scenario, if it were to happen to you or your wife, we want to, she is earning more than you as well. So, replacing your income is something that I look at as one of the biggest concerns from my end when I'm looking at your situation.
Okay.
I want you to be able to feel good, when you walk out the next day and not have to worry about something like that. You say you want your family to be taken care of, you want your kids, you want your wife to be taken care of, and
Mhm.
I'm sure she would want you guys to be taken care of as well if anything ridiculous like that would happen, that scenario that you haven't thought about.
Sure.
Thankfully you haven't
Yeah.
thought about it, or else maybe I don't want to be sitting in front of you. But we want you guys to, that income replacement to be taken care of.
Okay.
So if I'm looking at quantifying that, you're making 75,000, she's making 90. Let's make it easy. We'll say that's roughly 200. We'll throw down a little bit, but you multiply that 30 years. If you're each working until 65, that's well over $1 million,
Mhm.
right? So we'll make math easy. We'll say income replacement, $1 million. Okay. We can even go $1.5 million actually. We'll make this a little bit better. Because I would imagine, your salary's not going to decrease as you continue working as a branch manager.
Right.
So, $1.5 million to replace each of your money. That's just scratch work. It's nothing too calculated.
Mhm.
We could run through and get the exact numbers of what you need with inflation and all that, but I don't want to bore you to death here. So
Okay.
we'll do that. As far as debt goes, you said you have 225 in the house, so a little bit of student loan payments, some car payments. We'll throw that at 250. We'll say 250 in debt. Okay. And your needs and your wants. To kind of quantify your travel, how much do you think a trip to Germany or Austria would cost you? If you had the top of your head, if you guess.
Probably 10 grand.
10 grand.
Yeah.
travel nicely. You're not staying in a hostel or anything like
No.
that with 10 grand.
No. Seen those movies.
Yep. All right, so, as far as that goes, as far as what you need, debt-free in the travel, I'll say, I'll put those as your top 2 priorities. I won't include the house in this kind of this need section. So I'll say 10 grand there. And then I'll make a separate column, a want for the house on the water. If you had to, I know it's not a necessity, but if we're going to quantify that, how much do you think you're spending if you're going to buy something like that?
Like a camp, probably,
Uh-huh.
I don't know, 80,000, 90,000.
80,000, 90,000?
Yeah.
So, again, that, these little pieces you might not think, the income replacement, that's always going to be the biggest chunk, especially with the amount of years that you have, that earning potential you have moving forward. The next thing I look at is the final expense. I don't know how much you know about funerals, but if you know what a final expense or what a funeral costs you nowadays.
10, 15 grand.
Spot on.
Yeah.
We try to say 15 grand just to be safe, and if you weren't going to pass today, it's going to only increase in time.
Sure.
So we'll say 15,000. Okay. So when I'm looking at what you need to replace yourself right now, because when you're looking at life insurance, when you're looking at something along these lines, the biggest factor is how do you quantify how much you need? How do you kind of get that number, or how do you understand what it is that I need moving forward? I'm looking at these elements. I think these are the most important things from what you've talked about, and if there's anything else, speak up. But it seems like this kind of represents a general picture of what you have going on with your family, yourself. We're looking at close to $2 million of that big base number of what you would need if you passed, and not what you would need, but essentially what what you're left with, what that huge number is that that you have lost, and what you lose as far as not only replacement of money, but what you want and what you want eliminated, and what you as far as travel and houses go. Okay, so that's it's close to $2 million. Okay. We can go through. When I come back in front of you, when we sit down again, I'm not someone that's going to push product down your throat or tell you you need to buy this, you need to buy that. That's not my style. But when I'm looking at something like this, I'm using this as like a baseline, and from here, I can derive a number of what might be recommended for you, and then we have to talk about affordability. Because of course, I don't think you or I would want you paying, a ridiculous amount for your life insurance policy. I know, we're not trying to break your bank or anything like that, but at the same time, I want you to be protected. And moving forward, I want you to feel good about where you are, so you don't have to worry. I know you have 2 times your salary, but when you're looking at a number close to $2 million, 2 times your salary in life insurance that's not going to cover it.
Right.
So what I'd like to do is set up a follow-up appointment and just kind of discuss what your options are moving forward, and I can kind of give you some more of the nitty-gritty. And kind of get down what these solutions are that we have at our disposal. We Prudential also, I don't know if I mentioned this over the phone, I sometimes do, but I don't need to use just Prudential products here.
Right, yeah, you did say
okay.
that. Yeah.
So, that's one thing that we can discuss, and we can kind of look and see, now that we have your picture, we can kind of build you a plan to make sure that, that my main objective of my job of meeting your financial security, making sure that's set, I can use this to kind of give you some recommendations.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
All right, Bill.
Great.
Any other questions for me? Anything you got?
No, that's good.
Okay, awesome.
Good.
Thank you.
Good.